Midsize saloons are something of a dying breed in the UK as buyers increasingly favour SUVs, which makes the decision to offer the Mazda 3 Fastback to a British audience all the more curious. There's an undeniable elegance to the 3 Fastback's lines, which stylistically place it midway between its more traditionally shaped rivals in the form of the Audi A3 saloon and Volkswagen Jetta, with the 4-door coupe Mercedes-Benz CLA at the other end of the svelte spectrum. If you're hoping to compare it with a contemporary booted saloon from Ford, Vauxhall or all manner of other manufacturers, then we've bad news. There aren't any other options, in Britain, at least. Daring exterior, ordinary interior. Inevitably there's much swoopiness about the way the Mazda 3 Fastback looks, it being another exponent of the Kodo design language seen across the brand's lineup. As well as being smaller, it looks sportier than the larger Mazda 6 saloon and also manages not to look simply like a Mazda 3 hatchback with a boot tacked on the back as an afterthought. Disappointingly, the interior lacks the bodywork's flair. It's well assembled, although the positioning of some of the switchgear, in particular the controls for the infotainment system located down by the gear lever, take longer to familiarize oneself with. Mazda claims the Fastback's cabin is more capacious than the previous generation 3 saloons, but it still feels tighter in the back than the Jetta, particularly in terms of legroom. Limited range of engines available reflecting Mazda's conservative sales ambitions for the 3 Fastback. There isn't a particularly wide range of power plants to choose from. You're limited to a 118 bhp 2-litre petrol, a 104 bhp 1.5-litre diesel and, topping the range, a 2.2-litre diesel producing 148 bhp. The petrol motor in particular spins engagingly, but none really muster the power to sate enthusiastic drivers. Naturally, it's the smallest unit with the greatest efficiency claims. Mazda quotes 74 miles per gallon and 99 grams/km of CO2 for the 1.5-litre engine. All models benefit from Mazda's pursuit of what it refers to as SkyActiv technology, essentially meaning that engines, transmissions, the bodywork and its underpinnings are made using advanced production methods and lighter-weight materials. Contemporary technological features mirroring the hatchback's range structure. The Mazda 3 Fastback SANAF, SAL, SALNAF and SportNAF trim levels are generously appointed, with a raft of features available, that only a few years ago were the preserve of luxury cars. Depending upon where in the Fastback hierarchy you decide to buy into, autonomous emergency low-speed braking, lane departure warning, automatic main beams and adaptive cruise control could be part of the package. There's even a head-up display system, but it somehow conspires to look like part of a 1980s video game in execution. Read the full Mazda 3 Fastback review to find out how we rate this distinctive compact saloon. 2 diesels and a single petrol on offer, all focus on efficiency over outright speed. Larger diesel engine is the pick of the range, perhaps a reflection of the conservative nature of typical smaller saloon car buyers. No version of the Mazda 3 Fastback is especially quick, with a diesel version delivering the sportiest performance. Fast by name, not by nature. Pair of diesels to choose from. Of most interest to company car drivers and private motorists alike is the economical 1.5-litre diesel. It sounds a little underpowered at just 104 bhp, but the Mazda's lightness enables it to reach 115 miles per hour for its size. It's pleasingly torquey, generating 270 Nm from just 1,600 revolutions per minute, translating to an 11-second time for the 0 to 62 miles per hour sprint. Efficiency's the game here, with Mazda quoting this 3 Fastback at an average of 74.3 miles per gallon and just 99 grams/km of CO2. The pick of the range has to be the larger 2.2-litre diesel, with 148 bhp and 380 Nm at 1,800 revolutions per minute on tap. They translate to a 132 miles per hour top speed and a 0 to 62 miles per hour time of 8 seconds flat. Despite the extra speed on offer, it only loses out fractionally to the 1.5-litre diesel in terms of running costs, with quotes of 72.4 miles per gallon and 104 grams/km of CO2. All diesels have a 6-speed manual transmission. Just one petrol engine, unlike its hatchback sibling which was launched with a trio of petrol-fueled motors. The 3 Fastback only comes with one, the 118 bhp 2-litre unit. It revs very eagerly and smoothly, but clearly isn't going to propel the saloon along to particularly heady heights, Both the 6-speed manual and automatic versions will top out at 123 miles per hour. You have to rev it quite hard to extract the maximum torque from it, too. Its 210 Newton-meters peak is delivered at 4,000 revolutions per minute. For the manual, that equates to a 0 to 62 miles per hour time of 8.8 seconds, stretching to 10.3 for the automatic. Mazda quotes the manual's efficiency at an average of 55.4 miles per gallon and 119 grams/km of CO2, the automatic at 50.4 miles per gallon and 128 grams/km, respectively. Agile handling but lacks the power to exploit it fully. Feels impressively nimble, just like the hatchback. Firmer than expected ride, exacerbated by larger rims. Can the MX-5's legendary handling prowess be translated into the saloon form of the Mazda 3 Fastback? Well, that would be over-regging it, but it's no exaggeration to say that the Fastback is a poised and agile 4-door family car, its extra length seemingly not impacting negatively on the balance displayed by its hatchback sibling. The Fastback's grip impressed us, the steering effectively communicating what the front wheels are up to through a series of corners, although its weighting was a little lighter than we would have liked. There's some body roll in evidence, but not enough to sully the enjoyment the Mazda offers. If a compromise is present, it's that the ride quality is a shade firmer than you may expect of an unsporty saloon. It's not rib-rattlingly uncomfortable, but over sharper ruts occupants will feel jolts through the car, especially when it's riding on larger 18-inch wheels. All the 3 Fastback really lacks is a more powerful engine to exploit its impressive dynamics. High-quality interior plastics impressed us. Switchgear location and action didn't. Head-up display manages to look old-fashioned at first acquaintance. The Mazda 3 Fastback's cabin looks and feels like that of a car from a class above. No surprise to learn the larger Mazda 6's dashboard features a similar design. While it is well built and features significant areas assembled from soft-touch plastics, some of the controls and knobs feel a little old-fashioned, being less well-done than rival switchgear. In a car like this, it's also debatable whether the rev counter needs to be the dominant instrument in the binnacle, with a smaller digital speedo just to the side. Although you soon get used to the oddly sighted switchgear, particularly the infotainment controls located down between the handbrake and gear lever, we were less convinced by the flip-up head-up display system. The graphics aren't especially sharp or bristling with information, somehow conspiring to look like a 1980s vision of future car interiors. Supportive seats up front are great for long journeys. Little exterior noise enters the cabin. Adaptive suspension's unavailable on smoother roads. In particular, comfort levels provided by the Mazda 3 Fastback impressed us. It's over pock-marked British roads, when the car's riding on larger 18-inch wheels, that the setup's inherent firmness comes to light. Not that your passengers are likely to complain about the occasional sharper jolt, particularly as the suspension deals with shallower road imperfections so well. Disappointingly, there's no adaptive suspension option to soften the ride. There are 2 seat designs, a flatter one for lower-ranking models and a sports alternative with greater side bolstering, at the top of the range. Both provide good levels of support and comfort, with cloth upholstery holding you in place more effectively than the leather alternative. Although snug compared to many hatchback rivals, the 3 Fastback's cabin's capable of accommodating 4 adults, although head and legroom in the back rail behind the Volkswagen Jettas. Little exterior noise enters the cabin, such is the Mazda's overall level of sound-deadening material and general refinement. Even entry-level SE is reasonably equipped. SkyActiv hits the sweet spot of the range. Few options for personalization. As with the Mazda 3 hatchback, the Fastback is available in SE, SkyActiv and Sport Nav variants, with the addition of a sat-nav system, standard on Sport Nav cars, the only difference for SkyActiv and SkyActiv. Standard Mazda 3 Fastback equipment. Pick a base spec SE car and you won't do too badly, thanks to 16-inch alloy wheels and a rear spoiler, plus a black cloth interior, leather steering wheel and knob and piano black inlays. SkyActiv models gain sat-nav, while SE cars still get the 7-inch color screen, featuring Bluetooth, USB and iPod connectivity, plus aircon. Move up to SkyActiv and you get LED daytime running lights, LED rear lamps, automatic bi-xenon headlights, front fog lights, rear privacy glass and rain-sensing wipers. Dual-zone climate control is added, plus heated front seats and parking sensors in the rear bumper. Cruise control with a speed limiter top off the list. Sport Nav brings with it larger 18-inch alloy wheels and a rear lip spoiler for fastbacks that is absent in the hatch. Adaptive front lighting automatically switches between high and low beam, plus moves the lights left and right with the steering wheel. Front parking sensors are also added to help tight maneuvers. Finally, there's a silver dashboard insert, plus head-up display and 9-speaker Bose stereo. Top-tier cars with an automatic gearbox also gain paddle shifters behind the steering wheel. Optional Mazda 3 Fastback accessories. Not much to pick from here other than paint, either solid, metallic or pearlescent, and the option of light stone or black leather depending on specification. High score when tested by Euro NCAP. Emergency low-speed braking is standard optional safety pack. A worthy investment. Euro NCAP gave the Mazda 3 Fastback a 5-star rating, with a particular emphasis on adult occupant safety. You get driver and passenger airbags, front and rear curtain airbags, plus side airbags for the front, and a smart city brake system as standard. Fastback has a larger boot than the 3 hatchback rivals. Trump the Mazda's luggage space. Seatbacks fold over to swallow longer loads. 4-door saloons will always lag behind their 5-door hatchback counterparts on practicality grounds, and the Mazda 3 Fastback's no rule breaker in this regard. It's not the size of the boot that's the issue. The Fastback's 419-litre capacity is more generous than the hatchback's 364-litre offering. It's the narrowness of the aperture when the boot lid's swung open. Inserting a bulky load is never going to be as easy as when the wide tailgates opened up. That's not the Mazda's only issue, its key rivals all offer more space, too. Although the Audi A3 saloon's not much further ahead at 425 litres, the Mercedes-Benz CLA and Volkswagen Jetta offer considerably more room at 470 litres and 510 litres, respectively. Longer loads can be accommodated within the Mazda by folding over the 60 hours 40 minutes split rear seatbacks, with release levers located just below the rear window within the boot opening. Elsewhere there are a few storage facilities, with the cubby under the front center armrest being useful and serving as the location for USB sockets and memory card readers. Just a shame the hinged lid for it is one of the cabin's low points, feeling a bit cheap compared with other fixtures and fittings.